Okay, folks, here we go. Now, I could do BF3, I could do BCL3, and we did the Lewis dot structure of this in Chapter 7. If I were to look at this cold, I would say, aha, going to violate the octet rule. Rule 3, boron doesn't need 8, and this is what we came up with. Okay, that was our Lewis dot structure. And I make it look like a T. And that's fine because that doesn't tell us what the real shape is. Okay, now let's fire down through here and come up with some answers. Marco, how many atoms are on the central atom? 3. How many lone pairs, Pedro?
Huh?
Lone pairs on the central atom?
None.
None. Eddie, how many things are on the central atom?
3.
3. Okay, did I get to my 3-cat story? No? Okay, now. Okay, I did? Okay.
Oh, yeah, Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes, exactly. Okay, build it, build it. I want to see, when you have 3 things around, it was called the trigonal planar. And since there are no lone pairs, Meredith, this is the same. You were the one asking that a moment ago. Trigonal planar. Okay. Here's the 3-cat story. Could you all hold your talking so others can hear? Okay, you have 3 cats. And I talked about, one's here, one would go back here, one would go back here. Because if it's a T shape like that, think about it. If there's one here, and one here just to my side, and one here just to my side, what's that bond angle in a T? Here to here. What's that bond angle? 90. Bad news. Anything less than 100 degrees is crowded. That's where your mother-in-law lives, on the same block or the same house. Okay, so you want to spread out in space, preferably to be over 100 degrees. So what's your best bet when you got 3 trigonal planar? Okay, I do not want you to memorize just weird names that don't mean a thing to you. Think about this. Okay, trigonal because it is a triangle. 1, 2, 3, triangle. Planar because it is flat. Okay, now I want to see trigonal planars in the air. No, you're not flat. Flat, okay? Let's see some more over here. Good, good. Meredith, do you see what's wrong with yours? Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Here's what you had. Do you see the difference? One of these is a trigonal planar and one is not. Trigonal planar means flat. That guy's humped up in the middle. Actually, this guy has a name, trigonal pyramid. Because with the little imaginations, can you see the point up at the top? Okay, that's why I said to Meredith, no, you're not planar. So everybody got one? Everybody got one? Eddie, you got some toys to play with? Somebody share with him. Share with Angel, too. What now? BE needs 6. BE needs 4. This needs 6. Okay, now we got our molecule. Everybody's flat. Okay, trigonal planar, trigonal planar. What's the bond angle? Okay, let's go back to middle school. Okay, you got a whole circle. You got 360 degrees. How do I know that? I heard that so long ago, I can't even remember who first said it to me. If you divide it into thirds, then each angle will be 120. Okay, and if you don't believe it, get out that little business and measure it yourself. But the bond angle is going to be 120. And if I draw the VSEPR sketch, here's my generic VSEPR. would be like this. Now, do you see the difference? If you're asked to do a Lewis dot, you just put it down and you get your count right for singles, doubles, triples, and lone pairs. But when you draw the Vesper, it says do the Vesper sketch, you're going to draw something like this. Now, a lot of times on the Vesper, they don't bother with these lone pairs out on the guys around because the real point is this orientation. And we're talking fluorine to boron to fluorine. What's that angle? 120. Fluorine to boron to fluorine, 120. Okay, now let's talk polarity. I have a boron and I have a fluorine. Who is more electronegative? Fluorine. Is this bond polar? Yes. Of course, that way, because you just told me that's more electronegative. It's going to be true of these as well. Okay, now, I don't think I talked about having three of you here. Okay, here's the analogy. I'm going to have three of you of absolutely equal strength. And I'm going to have ropes or chains or something. Okay, so I stand here. I have three ropes around my waist. One person is out there with the end of one rope. One person is there with the end of that rope. One person is here with the end of that rope. And remember, equal strength. If I tell them, okay, go, pull as hard as you can. Do I move anywhere? No. It may hurt really bad, but I'm not moving. So if you can visualize it, that's going to cancel out. Then what do you have to tell me for the molecule as a whole? Non-polar. Good. Okay, how about resonance forms? 0. No doubles, no triples. Impossible to have resonance. The answer is never 1. Okay? It's like cousins in your family. You can't be a cousin unless you have a cousin. And so the answer is never 1. It's going to be 0 or 2 or 3 or whatever. But if you have no multiples, no multiple bonds, you got to say 0. Okay, next.